All right, so today we're doing a deep dive into this book, The Infinite Key. It's kind of like, one of those treasure maps, but instead of gold, it's all about ancient wisdom and like how it all connects to modern spiritual stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Like ever feel like there's got to be more to life,
Yeah.
like something deeper, but you don't even know where to start.
hmm
Well, this book, The Infinite Key, it might be a good place to start looking.
Yeah, and what I think is really cool about this book is that it takes all this ancient, teachings, wisdom, all that stuff, and it doesn't just tell you about it, it actually shows you how to use it in your life, like today.
Oh, for sure. It's not just like, oh, the ancient Egyptians did this and these symbols mean that. It's like, okay, take the spiral, for example.
Right.
The book says it's this, universal symbol for growth and evolution.
hmm
And then it goes on and it's like, okay, here's how you can apply that to your own personal growth. Like, boom, actionable.
Exactly. It takes these things that might seem kind of out there, like sacred geometry, and it shows you how it connects to like the patterns in nature, even in our own lives. Like it's about recognizing those connections and then using that to actually understand yourself better. That's pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah. And the book, it really hammers home this point that like, we all have this inner wisdom, this potential that's just waiting to be unlocked.
Mm.
It kind of makes you think, right? Like, what if we all have these infinite keys, inside us?
Right.
What if it's not about, finding something outside of ourselves, but realizing like, hey, it's already in here.
I think that's a really, really powerful idea. And the book, it's almost like it takes you on this journey of self-discovery. It helps you recognize those keys, those inner keys, and then learn how to use them.
Nice.
Like it talks about, aligning with your intuition, learning how to harness your creative energy, even understanding, those parts of ourselves that we tend to kind of hide away,
Right.
which a lot of people call that shadow work.
Oh yeah, shadow work. Sounds kind of intimidating though, right?
Yeah.
It's like, am I going to be like battling demons or something?
It's not quite like that, thankfully.
Okay.
It's more about, taking a look at acknowledging those parts of ourselves that maybe we're not super comfortable with.
Yeah.
And then the idea is that by actually understanding that shadow self, we can actually become more whole and balanced.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So
Yeah.
it's like all these different pieces kind of fitting together. You've got the ancient wisdom, you've got this personal growth thing, and then this whole toolkit of like, practices and techniques and things like that.
Yeah.
We talked about like intuition and shadow work, but then there's also like manifestation, sound and vibration, even this whole concept of death and rebirth. It's a lot.
It is a lot. It's a lot to unpack. But, the cool thing is you don't have to be an expert on any of these things to actually get something valuable out of the book.
Yeah.
It's like whether you're a total beginner, you're just starting to dip your toes into spirituality, or you've been, exploring this stuff for years, there's something here for everyone. I really believe that.
Yeah, I love that it's so accessible. It's like
Yeah.
you don't need some special invitation or anything to start exploring these ideas. And the book, it kind of makes it seem like we all have this innate connection, right,
hmm
to the cosmos, to something bigger than ourselves.
Yeah, and that is like one of the key takeaways here, I think. It's
Yeah.
encouraging us to tap into that connection, to realize that we're not just these isolated beings, we're part of something much, much vaster, and everything's interconnected. It's about understanding our place, in this whole grand scheme of the universe,
Yeah, I like that.
and recognizing, the power that we all have within.
So, okay, to kind of sum it all up, it sounds like the infinite key is really, it's not just a guide to understanding these big universal secrets.
Mm-hmm.
It's also about like, actual personal transformation.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about bridging that gap, between the mystical and the practical. And it's really all about empowering you to unlock your own potential. And this kind of brings up a cool question, a question for you to think about.
Okay.
If you could unlock any mystical secret, any one you want, what would it be and why? Think about that. What really calls to you? What mysteries would you just love to unravel? Maybe, just maybe, exploring this book, The Infinite Key, will actually help you find those answers.
Who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's our deep dive into the infinite key.
Awesome.
Thanks for joining us,
Thanks for having me.
and we'll catch you next time.
Sounds good.